Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter and welcome back to the channel. In this review I'm very excited to talk about Star Wars Brotherhood, written by Mike Chen. This is from Del Rey. Mike Chen has previously written a short story in From a Certain Point of View, The Empire Strikes Back. So this is his first fully fledged Star Wars novel, so we're going to dive in, giving you a quick plot synopsis. So a couple weeks following the events of Geonosis, we have Anakin Skywalker, who has just been knighted. So he is dealing with the whole concept of him not being an apprentice to Obi-Wan, him being an equal to Obi-Wan. In the meantime, you also have Obi-Wan, who has just been promoted to fill in the seat of Coleman Trebor on the Jedi Council, and he is tasked by the Republic to go investigate a bombing on the neutral planet of Cato Neimoidia, homeworld of the Neimoidians. Of course, Cato Neimoidia is also linked to the Trade Federation, who is also neutral because we have Newt Gunray that is actually part of a splinter group that is part of the Separatist Alliance. So there's a lot riding on this whole concept of Obi-Wan trying to maybe get into the talks with Trade Federation after he finds out and clears the Republic, hopefully, of its name in this bombing, because it could be anybody. It could be the Separatists, it could be the Republic, maybe it's even a third party, and that's what Obi-Wan's job is to do, is to figure out what exactly is going on. So just like a good Obi-Wan story in Attack of the Clones, investigating what is going on with the clones, we have Obi-Wan on another kind of mission, trying to uncover this plot that is going on this planet. So getting into the characters, we have Anakin Skywalker. As I said, he's just become a knight, but he's also just become newly married. So we see a lot going on with him trying to balance the work life of a Jedi and a secret rendezvous with his wife Padme Amidala, and how that all kind of goes into play. Then you have Obi-Wan, who is still getting used to Anakin not actually being his Padawan anymore. He's getting used to the idea that these clones have suddenly appeared, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to be integrated into that whole concept. Are the Jedi becoming more warlike, where they should always be more peaceful defenders? So there's those guys' character stories, but we also have some brand new characters in the story. We have the character of Mill, and she is a Jedi initiate that is getting used to her powers of the Force. She has a very special, unique ability, but she is also questioning if she should even be in the Jedi Order. This Force power that she has, it's overwhelming for her. She's having second thoughts. And you have this other character named Roog, who is a Neimoidian, an ex-Neimoidian Special Forces, is now a Neimoidian Guard. And she is our perspective on the Neimoidian side of what is going on. She also has a very young partner, so it very much symbolizes that relationship in Attack of the Clones of master and apprentice for Obi-Wan and Anakin, and Obi-Wan is coordinating with Roog and sees that in her and her partner. So we have a lot going on with these characters. We also have an appearance by Asajj Ventress, her first appearance in the canon timeline, as far as with Obi-Wan seeing her for the first time happens in here. Let's get into the positives. What I will say is this relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin feels so natural. The way that Mike Chen writes the relationship, of all the squabbles, of all the heartwarming gestures, of everything that goes on with these characters, feels so right, feels so spot on, to the point of I get kind of tired sometimes of a lot of these kind of books that really kind of fill in the different areas of the timeline, because we get these major characters and I don't want to see these characters written in a way which is going to bring them down in my mind. But I think Mike Chen really kind of goes past and exceeds those expectations for me, because he adds actually more to these characters than what I expected from the Clone Wars, than what I've seen in Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones. And that's probably the biggest compliment I can give a writer when it comes to that. What I will say is the politics in this are fantastic. Seeing the repercussions of the Republic dealing with a neutral world and how that could affect things going forward into the future. Again, there's lots of stakes in this book. It's very smart the way it's written, with everything that is being written on by, with everything that's being pushed forward toward Obi-Wan. I will say the realistic look at the Force is another thing that I really appreciate. Using the Force as something that, you can't take for granted. When you use the Force in certain circumstances, it will have repercussions. So to see that come through, and to see that, especially through Mill's perspective, seeing the way her power integrates in ways we haven't quite seen in Star Wars, is pretty awesome. I will say this book is a love letter to the prequel fans. certain gestures that Obi-Wan makes, certain gestures that Anakin makes, certain lines of dialogue that these characters are hearkening back towards that reflect on their life and where it's going to be in the future is just so great to see how Mike Chen celebrates not only The Phantom Menace, but Attack of the Clones and some foreshadowing for some things that could happen in Revenge of the Sith. The struggles of the Jedi in this book is fantastic. Just seeing the rips in the foundation of, you know, how these Jedi are dogmatic and how we are seeing with the introduction of the clones, how they are starting to really go the way they shouldn't be going. Things like the mechanical hand with Anakin lends so much to almost like the real world situation, right? I know Mike Chen had said in the past he had gone out and he had spoken to people that are amputees and spoken to them about how they get through life now with the way their body has changed. So we actually get so much of that with Anakin and with his hand, whether it's like getting sand stuck in there and feeling weird, to just holding somebody or using a lightsaber. All these things that I never would have thought about make so much sense and add so much more to the character of Anakin for me. And finally, one more positive for me is just to look at Neimoidians. Neimoidians and kind of extrapolate it into our current culture of, you know, just certain populations are just, you know, not treated right, not treated fairly because based off of things that happened in generations of the past. And certain things happen in this book that relate to the Neimoidians, about how Neimoidians are just looked down upon by the Republic based off of select individuals that bring down their entire basically species based off those stupid actions that were made. So I really like how this story has something to say about culture in general and about how fairness and everything like that is portrayed. I think worked really effectively in this book. I never expected to get this much about the Neimoidians, but man, oh man, this is like one of the best looks at a certain culture in Star Wars that we've gotten, period. The only thing I will say about this book that's negative is, okay, it took a little bit to start with the action. The action, I feel like, really didn't come into play until that last third of the book. I could have used a little bit more of that sprinkled in to maybe like the first half somewhere. But other than that, this is going to be hands down one of the best Star Wars canon books to date. This is a 9 out of 10 for me, easily. This is up there with Star Wars Bloodline, Lost Stars, all those good books, right? Leia, Princess of Alderaan. I really did enjoy this book. And as I said before, if you are a prequel fan, you're going to love this book. The first thing I did when I finished reading this book is I watched an episode of the Clone Wars and just seen that direct transition, right? Because this predates the Clone Wars animated series. And I will say there's a lot of cool Easter eggs to not just the Clone Wars, but the micro series Clone Wars. There's certain things that are actually kind of canonized from a certain point of view in this book by certain mentions. A lot of Easter eggs in this book, which I really enjoyed. And this is a great time to read this book right before we're going to get that fateful reuniting of Anakin as Vader and Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So that's going to do it for my review of Brotherhood. I would love to see Mike Chen do a book about Obi-Wan and Anakin prior to this. Let's finally have a Del Rey novel in between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. There's a 10-year gap there, but I feel like there was already maybe some mentions in this book that actually could have been like maybe little teases. I don't know. We don't have confirmation, but I hope this is not Mike Chen's last take at Star Wars, because this guy really gets it. It's a great prequel book. It's probably the best prequel book in canon that we've gotten so far. So that is going to do it for my review of Brotherhood. Are you planning on picking this one up? Let me know in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, I have plenty of other Star Wars reviews and content in general. With Star Wars Celebration coming up in just a couple days, really, I will have coverage. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that way you never miss that content. Also, check out my Star Wars podcast, Out of Room Transmission, where we go live every Friday talking about the latest in Star Wars. So that's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. and please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.